Great ball for Smith. Smith's in behind. Hopkins chasing. Shoots and scores! Great ball and again another. Here we go! Lines it up. We're away! Lines it into the bottom corner! Really well there. Moffat cuts inside. Moffat! What the great catch! Welcome back to FBTV, part of the Football Brisbane Media Group. I'm Robert Blanche and we're here at Carmichael Park for the round one veto clash between Wolves FC and North Pine United. I'm joined today by Football Brisbane analyst Stuart Flint. Stuart, with the loss of Hopkins, Vroom and a few other of the imports from last year, how do you see Wolves panning out today?
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be difficult. I think they'll have to rely on players like Kato Aoki, Paul Mikula and Sasa Radulovic, who they didn't have to rely on so much last year, like with you saying having Vroom and Hopkins. If we look at Aoki, he made the return to the Wolves lineup, scored 19 goals last year and was second in the gold boot, so he'll be relied on for goals. Radulovic only scored 3 goals last year. Interestingly enough, 2 of them were in the same fixture against North Pine, and Aoki scored 2 in that game, so they'll be hoping that they can do what they did last season and get amongst the goals. Also someone to talk about is Blake Kearns. I think he's 16-17 year old. He made his first team appearance at the end of last year and did a very solid job, and I think a lot is expected of him.
Okay, we'll go to the other side of the coin. North Pine, how do you see them faring today against the reigning champions?
Well, they've had a coaching change. Trevor Roadman comes back for I think a 3rd or 4th stint as the coach of the senior side. Michael Brockwell, last year's coach, he puts his boots back on and will have a run in the heart of defence. It's very easy. A lot of talk about North Pine has been that they might struggle this year. People may forget that they actually made the finals last year with a great win over City on the final day of the season. So they've got some pedigree about them. They lost a couple of guys in Josh Ahern, their keeper Jake Reesby, but they still have Shane Coffey, who scored 13, and Jason Kuhn, who scored 9. So I definitely think that they can give it a shake, but they lost here 5-1 last year, and if Wolves get going, it could be a similar scoreline.
Are you brave enough to give a prediction for the scoreline at the end of the game this early?
I am. I think it could be a tighter game than most people would think. Wolves are pretty short, $1.25, I think, and so I think it may be closer, but there may be a few goals late on as it's a reasonably warm day here. The legs will fade towards the end of the game, and yeah, so 3-4-1 maybe. Okay,
there we have it. We've wrapped up what we think is going to happen today. All we wait for now is for the football to do the talking, and as the players make their way onto the field, let's check out the team lineups. The officials for today's match are referee Brodie Main and his assistant referees Renee Coghill and John Vassiladis. Morian with the throw for Bowden's feet, back for Knowles. Wakefield shut down by Fisher. Clearance has only gone to Aochi. Clulo! And Nichols down quickly to his right to deny the Wolves wide man. Kuhn gives it straight away. Bowden turns, shoots, and Nichols easily to his left. Clulo gives it away. Cleary clips it forward, looking for Parker. Parker with a little bit of space. Clips it across. Cleary. Radulovic comes and claims. Rolls it out for Morian. Gets his head up.
looking for options. Good ball for Aochi. Great turn, Kato Aochi. He's done a hurn, he's gone down, the referee's pointed to the spot for a penalty. We'll have to have a look at that again. He went to grab, he wasn't quite quick enough. The trailing foot, I think, clipped him. It was unintentional, but in the box, it's always going to be a pen. Let's have a closer look. Aochi's got in front. Hearn knows he's in trouble. Simpson's coming across in cover. I think you'll find, have a look, the spot will tell us. There was a clip, unintentional, but definitely a penalty. And picks up a yellow card for his troubles. Knowles, on debut, puts it into the net and gives Wolves FC the lead in the 13th minute here at Carmichael Park. Morian with the throw. Aochi down, Kearns with space, shoots, takes a touch off O'Hearn and goes out for a corner. McMahon, Clulo with the touch, gets it back. Still going Trent Clulo. Morian settles, shoots and puts his shot wide of the post. Mann with the throw. Clulo. Bowden shoots and puts his shot well wide of the post. Nichols with the long clearance. Owissa misses it. And oh, Coffey comes through and put his shot skyward. Long throw. Elisa does well there to win it. Fisher. For Simpson. Back inside for Brockwell, plays it out wide. Cleary comes and collects. Good run by Joe Simpson. Gets a good ball into the middle. Coffey on the turn, couldn't keep his shot down. Nichols mishits his clearance. Knowles shoots and a good save to his left by Nichols. Undisappointed he is with his clearance. Aochi uses his strength, gets his head up, stands on the ball. Fisher gives it straight away. Still battling. Bowden cleared. Aochi waits for it to drop. Good touch, good skills. Rolls it back. Knowles shoots with his left and puts his shot well wide of the mark. And that's the half-time whistle, which sees the scores 1-0 here at Carmichael Park in round 1 of the Veto League 2012.
Stuart, 1-0 at half-time. Could have been different, but how did you see that half pan out as a game?
Yeah, I think 1-0 probably is the least Wolves deserve for, I guess, for the majority controlling possession. They're really pressurising North Pine. Kato Aoki, I mean, we talk about his pace, and that's probably what he's mainly known for, but we underestimate his strength, and he really did use his body cleverly in getting the defender to commit, turned him, and then drew the foul, and Chris Knowles made the penalty look very, very easy. It's not been all one-way traffic. I think North Pine have had a couple of good chances. One, Shane Coffey, I think, set the record for highest shot seen at the ground. The other one was a lot closer. So that they can create opportunities. Interesting for me, Jason Kuhn has actually sort of moved from the left-hand side to the right. I think maybe early on he was struggling against Patrick Hopkins and is looking to try and go up against Iddy, the left back.
Do you see changes maybe from North Pine to try and secure their defence? They look shaky on occasions. The midfield seem to be getting overrun or bypassed a lot by the way that Wolves are playing at the moment. Do you see any changes coming from, well, first off from North Pine and then maybe from Wolves themselves? Sam, not happy with some of the things that the players are doing out there.
Yeah, I think Trevor Roman really is about keeping the ball, not turning the ball over needlessly, and yet that's what they have done. I mean, I think if North Pine are going to get anything out of this, and they are only 1-0 down, but if they are, then maybe a more direct approach may work. I think, you know, Craig Parker's up there to hold the ball ball up. Shane Coffey as well, you know, he if you get the ball to him in space, he can do something. So I think whilst Trevor would probably want his side to be playing football and to be taking a touch and working it into space, I think they really have got to go direct. As for Wolves, I think the second goal will come. Aoki and Kearns have had opportunities, and given the right ball, will slot the second home.
Okay, so that leads me on to my last question. How do you see the second half panning out?
Probably not a lot of goals. Probably Wolves ending up 3-0 winners or 3-1 winners, something like that.
Second half here at Carmichael Park. Kickoff didn't quite go the way they wanted. Headed down. Both sides needed to settle early. Cleary. Into the middle. Coffey down, Parker, and a great save to deny the North Pine striker the equaliser. Kuhn looks to go forward, cuts back in, still going Kuhn. Well brought down by Cleary, steps inside, shoots from distance, tame shot. And Radovanovic, no problems, collecting and releases early. Radulovic up the sideline. Aochi back. Looks for the return ball. Will he get there? Yes, uses his body well. He's in between the defenders. Kearns with the shot and a great save by Nichols to deny the young striker. Radulovic with the corner. Swung in. Makula! Far post. He's taking up the mantle of Patrick Hoppins from last year and scores his second goal for the club in 4 years. Elisa forward. Kearns dispossessed. Keslake comes forward, gives it away. Fisher. Kimmel clips it forward. Parker gets there, gets his head up, lobs the keeper and pulls one back for the visitors in the 52nd minute to make the score here at Carmichael Park. 2-1 to the home side. Radulovic flips it forward, gives the ball away. McMahon. Wakefield with the ball out. Clulo. Radulovic. Takes on Keslake, goes around, clips it back inside. Clulo off the defender. Cleary turns. Knowles. Aochi. McMahon in a little bit of space. He'll look to get it in the box. Does always miss it. No, it's nearly gone in at the far post. Had Nichols running backwards quickly. Radulovic tries to clip it through. Cut out by Kuhn. Simpson. Fisher. Wheeler under pressure. Loses out to Clulo. Clulo heads in on goal. Cuts it across. Shot from Bowden. Goes wide of the mark off after a deflection. Quick corner. Clulo. Radulovic gives it back. Sold him short. Radulovic cleans up, gets his head up, shoots, and ooh, just over the crossbar by Sasha Radulovic. Simpson with the throw. Kuhn dispossessed. Wolves come forward. Radulovic with a clever ball. It's a free kick to the Wolves. Clulo with the free kick. Into the box. Knowles! Unmarked. Puts his header into the net, gets a brace and makes it 3-1 for the home side in the 67th minute. Radulovic, good skills. Kearns, ball clipped forward from Wakefield. Aochi, out wide, swings it across. Clulo, cuts it back and oh! Bowden puts a shot over the bar from 5 yards out. He'll be disappointed with that effort. Nichols goes long. Clulo picks up the scraps. looking for Kearns. Cut out, cleared up the park. Coffee gets onto the scraps. He's around McCooler. He keeps going. Radovanovic comes. Coffee goes down. He's claiming a penalty. It's a corner, I believe. Let's have a look. Yeah, there was a touch there, I believe, from Radovanovic. Oh, it's hard to tell. I think he got a touch. Ball clipped in. Radovanovic doesn't hold, and it's a free kick to the home side. North Pine players complaining. Referee just sorting out the situation as it stands. McMahon forward. Knowles for Iochi, who looks to shoot. Cut out well. Well defended in the end. They've lost out again though. Radulovic takes his man on. Radulovic off the post and off the defender, and it doesn't go in. Ball out wide, cuts across. Still haven't cleared. Knowles makes it a hat-trick in the 84th minute for Wolves. North Pine still looking to lock it around. Wheeler forward early. Coffee, good offload. Kuhn. Good turn by Fisher. Gets there. Slides in, but pulls out of the tackle. Wheeler for Kuhn. Free kick to the away side. And a card. So he's got a hat-trick and a yellow card on debut. He's done it all. Radulovic clips it in. Bowden with the shot. Iochi goes in. Keeper's taken a knock. Don't think there was much in it, but he certainly made contact. Nichols puts it long. McCooler. Flicked by Kearns. Iochi, ooh, went for the bicycle. They've still got it, the Wolves. Radulovic. Iochi shoots from distance, well over the bar. Long throw. Out by McCooler for a corner. Kimmel with the corner. Swung in. Kuhn. Back across the box. Kimmel. Once again, bombs it into the box. Spectacular from Coffee. Kuhn. Fisher puts it across. No one's picked it up. And McIntyre, newly off the bench, brings one back for the visitors and makes it 4-2 in the 91st minute. Radovanovic comes, takes, releases early. Oh, poor touch. And that's the final whistle which sees this round 1 Veto League clash. And Wolves FC 4, North Pine United 2. And I caught up with the coaches after the game.
Sam, a solid start to the season. You said earlier in interviews you were looking at the first 4 games as crucial. You thought that you couldn't probably lose more than one of those. You started today strongly with a 4-2 win.
Yeah, it's a 4-2 win. Disappointed, obviously, with the goals we conceded. I think the statistics tell you, I think it was 5 shots, and I think you had 3 on target and scored 2, which is a poor return in our case. But no, it's the first things. You have targets for the first few games, and the targets are to get your first goals and get your first points. Well, we've achieved that today. So we've achieved this first target for the season. We've got them on the board. In the side today, I think there was 4 players that actually played in the first team last year. So it's a massive, massive change around. A lot of reserve players. So yeah, we've got to be happy with victory. No matter how it comes, we're a weakened team. If that's no disrespect to other players, but it's a weakened side to what we probably have after 4 games.
That's right. You've got some players coming. Some have arrived, of course. Hungarian lad.
Yes, he's here.
He's here waiting for a visa.
No, he's got his visa. It's an international clearance. That could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Claudio, who got injured in the first game, he played for the reserves, so he might stand a chance next week. Rado's overseas, Alex Inoski's overseas, and Pat McMahon just come back in this week. So we have got a few players coming back from vacations and injuries. I will be a lot stronger in 4 weeks' time. But so we've got some tough games. We've got Lions next week, then Brisbane City and Uni.
Do you see Lions as a potential banana skin? They copped the fair pasting on Friday night, and maybe beware the wounded lion.
Well, there's one thing, and I know Rossi said it, and he was right. They can't play as bad as that. So they can only improve, and I've seen them twice, and they played really well in pre-season. That wasn't the Lions that have played probably in 5 or 6 games. I only wish they saved it for next week. But no, they'll be up for it, and they'll be trying to put the score of 6-1 to right. So if we're not up for the game and work hard, we could be on the back of a pasting like they had at Brisbane City. So we will be trying to get ourselves ready for that game.
Stefan Vroom, obviously, here last year, golden boot for the league last year, signed a contract overseas, and we're led to believe that, well, FBTV was part of the process for him getting his contract.
FBTV is quite big now in Sweden. What happened was Patrick Hopkins went over for a trial, played 25 minutes. They took him off and signed him, and that's in the top league in Sweden. And he told them he'd scored 17 goals and directed him to YouTube. And they were looking for a striker come winger, and they saw Stefan and all his goals, and they asked him if he'd come across for a trial. He went over for 2 weeks, and he signed, I think it was last Wednesday, another 2-year deal. And this is in the top league in Scandinavia. If you know Scandinavian football, it's really good.
Trevor was always going to be a hard assignment first time up out at the reigning champions, but 4-2 we were in the game. I think there was plenty of positives from North Pine. What are your thoughts on how it went?
Yeah, I think, first half we turned over some cheap possession, which gave them a really high amount of possession, but to the credit, we worked really hard and was, second half came out, had a really good chance to score in the first minute, basically down the other end, score a goal, and that's a learning curve. And I think out of today, we had plenty of commitment, which is good. You can't buy or train that stuff, but 3 goals from set pieces, the penalty and then a corner and a free kick. So we need to learn from that, and that's part of the game. So we've got to improve in those areas.
Any change in tactics or maybe personnel for the upcoming games, or you're just going to go back to training and have a look and do a revise through the week?
Yeah, we potentially still have the opportunity to add to our squad, so we're going to look at that this week. But the group we've got here, they're committed. We'll work hard. Obviously, Michael Brockwell picked up a bit of a hip strain there, so we'll see how he pulls up. But yeah, I think all in all, it's a start. A lot of teams are going to come here and go away empty-handed. So as you said in the first part, I think some positives there for us and something to work on.
Stuart, the score ended up at 4-2, very close to the predictions at half-time. A game where I suppose Wolves have won it. Sam wasn't overly impressed with the way they played, I suppose, upset about conceding 2 goals. How did you see the second half?
Yeah, it was an interesting second half. I think Sam made the change of bringing Sasa Radulovic on. I think that really made the difference early in the half. I know the left back came off and Luke Wakefield was part of the shuffle. He went back there, but it was Radulovic whose through ball really created the second goal. In the end, it was Blake Kearns who had the shot, but then Mikula scored from the corner. It was actually Paul's second goal since joining the club back in 2008. So he will have enjoyed that. On the whole, I think North Pine would be reasonably happy with their performance. They were in the game. Wolves were wasteful in patches, and the player of the game has to be Chris Knowles. I think what a fabulous story. First game in the Veto League, takes home the hat-trick and the hat-trick ball, and a great start for him. And Wolves now go on to face Lions FC next week in what has to be I guess a mouth-watering prospect between two good sides.
That's exactly right. You've got Wolves out at Lions. North Pine's troubles or woes may continue. It's hard to tell. They showed enough today to say that if they can get those little things that they did wrong right, that they'll be around. They were written off last year and made the final series. Not sure they'll do that this year, but they could stave off a bottom two place if they can just get those little things right.
Yeah, I think a lot of their season will depend on Brockwell. It will depend on Shane Coffey and Craig Parker. They're a little bit dependent on those guys. I think they're more likely to win games on a cold night at Bob Brock Park than they are coming here on a hot day and trying to go against a Wolves. So I think look for them to try and pick up and accumulate their points during the middle of winter and some games up there against sort of the Taringas, UQs of the league. As for Wolves, I think they'll obviously have a trip there later in the season, and they might not find it as easy as they did today.
Okay, thank you, Stuart. As always, you've been informative and you've showed your expertise. The cameras next week will be out at Peninsula Power for the round 2 veto clash between Peninsula Power and Rochdale Rovers.